What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Horror, this is Ethan Horror, and today we are back with part 4 of our horror movie tier ranking. Today we have the part 4s. Every part 4 in a horror franchise that I've seen. So, I saw a comment why didn't you include Evil Dead or Wrong Turn or Hellraiser? First off, Hellraiser, probably never going to watch all those movies because I've seen the first 3 and I can't. Wrong Turn, definitely won't be watching all of those. And Evil Dead, I haven't seen all of them. So if you're wondering why a franchise is on the list, assume I haven't seen all of them. Because Evil Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, both I haven't seen all of the movies. So I couldn't include them on this list as I'm going through each and every installment. So that's why they're not on the list. Today we have 20 movies because 5 of them dropped out because they only had 3. I believe it was Strangers, It, Annabelle, Conjuring, and Blair Witch. All only had 3, so they are out, and we're going to keep rolling with the 20 that we have left. So let's get into the horror movie part 4s.
I want to play a game.
Here's Johnny!
This is God. It's showtime.
But it brings us to our current suspects. Ethan.
Okay, here we are back at the tier list. As usual, absolute favorites up at the top. Then we have good, watchable, bad, dreadful. Same franchises, few of them left. Let's just get right into it with Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th Part 4 is actually one of my favorite of the franchise and one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Probably my second favorite slasher movie ever. I think it's perfect. A perfect slasher movie. It's everything that it should be. It's got the kills. It's got the killer, Jason, at his best in this one, I think. It has some of the best kills of the franchise, too, especially with the death of Jason. You get Tommy Jarvis in here. You get a great final girl, one of the best of the series. You get a lot. It's funny at some points with, Crispin Glover doing his dance. It's scary. I think there's genuinely a couple moments that are a little bit creepy in this. It's not just a stupid slasher movie. It is the best version of a stupid slasher movie, and that is why it is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, I am going to put in watchable. Now, I know a lot of people will probably disagree with that and think that this movie's terrible. I don't mind it. I don't mind it as much as I used to. I used to hate this movie. I used to be right there with you, but now I think it's at least watchable. There's still a huge amount of stuff that ticks me off about it, but it's not as horrible as I once thought it was. Most of the kills kind of suck. There is one good kill, the cockroach kill, that is outstanding, or I guess the sucking face kill is good too. So there's a couple good kills in this, but some of them are a bit weak for Nightmare on Elm Street standards. Freddy Krueger is turning into a joke, so this is where that downfall starts. So it sucks a little bit to see that, but otherwise, completely watchable Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Oh yeah, there is also the main characters of Part 3 get killed off. That's a huge part that I don't like. So, but otherwise, it's all right. Scary Movie 4. I told you not many scary movies were going to get it anywhere above watchable. This one is horrible. The opening scene was a little bit funny. I'll give you that. The Dr. Phil and Shaq and the Saw thing, that was funny. Okay? Didn't make me laugh a single other time throughout the entire thing. It was confusing, it was bad, and the acting is downright horrendous, even for comedy standards. Walking Dead Season 4, I'm going to put in good. Now, a lot of people love this season of the show, and I do. I do really, really like it. But this is where The Walking Dead starts to kind of do the thing where it's half of it is one story and the other half is a different story. So This one, the first half of the season, it's the wrapping up of the prison storyline. All of the stuff with the governor, you get the disease, and then you get the governor showing up and that final episode. Then everyone splits off, and you get the first half of season 5, because season 5 is about them all getting back together at Terminus and escaping and going to find a place to live. So the second half of season 4 is what I consider to be season 4. The first half is kind of season 3, and like the last couple episodes are pretty much season 5. So there isn't that much that tells a story that isn't like continued in a different season or brought over from an earlier season. So it just kind of feels weird. It feels like a stepping stone season. So that's why I'm going to put it in good and not absolute favorites. Carrie 2013 is probably going to be the only other one in absolute favorites because, well, I really like Carrie. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 3 times, I'm about to say it for the 4th time. I like every adaptation of Carrie. I like Carrie the original, I like The Rage Carrie 2, I like Carrie 2002, and I love Carrie 2013. There was a point in my life where I would have said I liked it better than the original because of the modern take. I really like what they did in this version of Carrie. Scream 4, probably one of the only other movies that'll go in good. I stacked the front with all the good stuff, so we'll get to the bad soon. Scream 4 for me is my favorite Scream sequel. I think it has the best killer reveal, the best ghost face in Jill. I like the new take of the remakes because, well, remakes are a thing in horror and it sucks because most of them are very bad. So I like when they look at all that stuff. I like the new meta aspect. I like when they talk about torture porn with the Saw movies and Hostel just coming out. It's got some gory kills, at least for Scream standards, very gory kills. And you get the original 3 back for another movie. The first Purge is going to go unwatchable. It's a watchable action movie. It's not even really a horror as much as it is action. It's not super scary. It's just very actiony, very light on story. It gives you a little bit more lore to the Purge, because it shows you the first Purge, the first time this has ever happened, the Staten Island experiment. And, it's a cool concept, but it's a little bit played out at this point, and I just think the first Purge doesn't deliver anything new. Psycho 4, The Beginning. I'm going to put it in bad. I did binge watch all of the Psycho sequels one night just because I felt like it, and because I have them all on disc. This was very weird. It's a very weird movie because it's not like a continuation of the story from 1, 2, 3. It stops the story and has Norman Bates tell this radio about his childhood and how he killed his mom and everything. Which, we could have done without an entire movie of explanation, considering it doesn't really feel completed. We could have just had, this be some backstory that comes up in one of the sequels. Critters 4. Dreadful. It's Critters 3 in space. So it's a little bit more fun, but still terrible, because Critters 3 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Halloween 4. Put Halloween 4 unwatchable. 4, 5, 6 of the Halloween franchise for me is just, I don't like any of that. I don't care that much. It's just, that story is so boring to me that I just don't really care for the 4, 5, 6 part. I mean, it just makes it weird and confusing. 5 and 6 are my 2 least favorite of the series, and 4 is all right. It's a decent bringing back of Michael Myers. I like some of the story, some of the characters that are brought in, but still, I just consider it to be a watchable Halloween movie. Next up, we have Jaws the Revenge. Dreadful. Yep. There we go. Pretty much what you'd expect from a 4th Jaws movie. That it'd be terrible. But guess what? This shark is related to the shark from the first movie, which is not the shark from the second or third movie. This shark is related to the shark from the first movie and is getting revenge on the Brody family for Chief Brody killing the original shark. So this shark follows the Brodys down on their vacation. I think they go to like the Bahamas or something. Follow them down so that he can get revenge on the family. And the mom has like I think some like psychic telepathic connection with the shark, because she's able to sense whenever the shark is attacking. I don't know if that's like genuinely what they were trying to do, because if it is, that's terrible. But yeah, I don't know. This movie sucks. Speaking of this movie sucks, yay, another movie in space, Leprechaun 4. It's fun sometimes. It's got some good moments, like 2. Yeah. It just takes what like the last 3 movies did, where it was like kind of fun, and then just sets it in space, and then basically takes everything out of it. So I don't really like Leprechaun 4 that much. Saw 4. Put Saw 4 in watchable. This is the beginning of the Mark Hoffman storyline, which is my favorite part of the Saw series because I love Mark Hoffman. Jigsaw dies. I like the main plot with the cop. That is one of the best plots in the entire series. Honestly, I could move it up to good, but I just didn't care for much of the story aspect of this one as much. It still was a good watchable Saw movie. It had some good traps, some good kills, so I'm not knocking it. It's just, it seems very basic for Saw standards, and it is the start of Jigsaw not being in any of these movies, so it sucks to see him go. Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong. Now, I'm going to put it in watchable, and I know, this movie sucks. This movie is bad. This movie is horrid. I understand that. I get it. I know that this movie is downright horrendous. But I have a lot of fun with it. I have a lot of fun with Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong. It's a bong that came to life fighting a gingerbread man that came to life. That's fun. That is a fun that's not a movie that you're going into to take seriously. That is a fun movie, and it is a fun movie, and I think it is the best Evil Bong movie. And also, there is an Evil Bong 4. This is just the 4th one of the series, so in the part 5s, it will be Evil Bong 4. So, just, I won't make a mistake. I promise. Insidious: The Last Key. Bad. I think after part 3, the Insidious movies just suck. Because this movie, it's just trying to make another Insidious movie. I don't like it that much. It's got some scary moments. It's just trying to make more lore for the Elise is her name. Elise. Because they killed her off in the first one, and they just want to keep bringing her back. So they bring her back for another movie that feels completely pointless, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it's just meh. But compared to the rest of these movies, I'm gonna put it in bad, because I would never rewatch it. Alien Resurrection. There it is. I hate Alien Resurrection. I do. I think it is I genuinely, I know some people enjoy this movie. I am not that person. I do not enjoy it whatsoever. I like Alien 3 to a degree. Alien 4, absolutely not. There is nothing in this movie that makes me enjoy it. I mean, you get the xenomorphs, but then you also have, like, the neomorphs or something. Is that in the new ones? I don't even know. There's, like, new versions of xenomorphs, new morphs of xenomorphs? I don't know. You get Ripley back, but she's not Ripley, because she's a different version of Ripley or something, or she got revived and she, like, doesn't have I don't remember what the excuse is to make her act all weird and quippy, but they do, and it sucks, so that is a huge knock against the movie, and, well, the rest of it's just not very good, so. Dreadful. Paranormal Activity 4. I'm gonna put it in good. I am a huge defender of all the Paranormal Activity movies, except for Next of Kin. But this movie, I think, is genuinely enjoyable, watchable, good. Most people think it's one of the worst of the franchise just because it feels repetitive and it doesn't really add much to the story, which I would agree. It feels repetitive and it doesn't add much to the story, but this is one of my favorite types of movies, and you get some good characters that you get to watch, and I love characters in movies. That's a huge selling point for me, is characters, good characters. And it has good characters, and it introduces Catherine Newton to the horror genre. You know, Freaky, Lisa Frankenstein, two of my favorite horror movies. So I really enjoy Paranormal Activity 4, but obviously it has its flaws. Bride of Chucky, watchable. Yeah, it's watchable. I mean, I have never been a huge fan of Bride of Chucky. I used to like it a lot more than I do now, but I just don't enjoy it that much because the main characters suck so much. Like, it's a slasher, I get it. Characters will suck. I'm not saying, like, all the characters have to be good in order for me to like it. But when your two main characters are fighting the whole time and accusing the other one of murder while also getting married, that's weird and that sucks. And Chucky and Tiffany are great. They're the best part of the movie, easily. You know, you get Chucky with his iconic scarred up look. But otherwise, I don't really like this movie that much. So, I mean, it's watchable, but I don't like it that much. The Final Destination is going in dreadful. How do you mess up Final Destination? Have a disaster, have a premonition, and then go kill the characters. That is a Final Destination movie, and you somehow messed up everything about it. First off, the disaster at the beginning is so unrealistic that I genuinely can't enjoy the movie even if the rest of it was decent. It is a NASCAR accident. Not like, you know, you had the plane crash, you had the roller coaster crash, you had the car crash. Even the bridge collapsing in the fifth one is more believable than this. There's a crash at a NASCAR and a multi-car pileup, and cars start getting flung into the audience, and pieces of cars are killing people. Like a motor, like an engine, gets flung out of a car and impales a woman. These cars are exploding for so long, and they're just going so far that it's not believable whatsoever. Like, they're outside of the park, outside of the arena, and like 5 minutes after the crashes have happened, a tire gets sent out the top of the arena with enough speed, height, and velocity to kill somebody. So, no. And I mean, the rest of the movie, not horrible by Final Destination standards. The characters are horrendous, the worst of the series easily, and there's a lot of CGI blood, but otherwise, it's fine. Fine. That's all. Whew. I got that off my chest. Stranger Things holy God. Stranger Things Season 4. What is happening? Stranger Things Season 4. Absolute favorites. And that is my favorite season of the show. Because, well, we get a lot of new characters, we get a lot of character development, and it feels the most horror to me, a little bit more scary. So, Stranger Things Season 4, absolute favorites. And that is going to be it for today's video. Remember, if you did enjoy, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you can... Jesus Christ. So I know you want to see more videos like it. Otherwise, hit the bell notification to be notified when I post any brand new videos, as well as the rest of this series. Thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I never thought we'd get here. Never thought we'd get to 100, let alone 200. But we are here now, and I'm just trying to keep growing. So please hit the subscribe if you really enjoyed the video. Otherwise, you can comment down below some of your own opinions on some of these movies, and see you guys in part 5. The part 5s are going to be rough.